Hyperion was first implemented into the university.
Hi, I'm Marty and Dennison. Welcome to HUGtv.
Well, even though it was really good, we still took on some of your ideas and added different things in and increased its functionality, and we gave it a different look and feel. Hi, I'm Marty Dennison, and welcome to HUGtv. And now we're about to undergo a major change with the introduction of Hyperion System 9. Hi, I'm Marty Dennison, and welcome to HUGtv.
Well, it was well before my hair started to go, actually. 2003 they started thinking about it, or the university started thinking about it, and the project really started to get underway in 2004. There's obviously a lot of work to do before a project of this kind of scale gets underway. So about a year of hard work and requirement scheduling before that.
It was in 2005 that Hyperion was put into the university as our enterprise performance management solution. And even though it was really good, we still decided to try and make it better. And so we changed the look and feel. We added features like related content that enabled the different applications to speak to each other, and they could draw on each other's features and strengths. And we also added in more meaningful reports and queries. We added columns and rows according to your feedback. But now, in 2008, we're undergoing construction in Hyperion in a major way for a brand new world. We're using Hyperion System 9. Today, we want to look at where we've come from, where we are, and where we're going with System 9. But first, let's take a look at how all of this has been built. Firstly, we start with our different source systems, such as our data warehouse, PeopleSoft Finance, and HR data from Talent2. These are connected to our foundation services, where all the applications come together for things like security and the ability to work from one workspace. The foundation services are made up of shared services, data and application integration, and master data management. These three elements harmonise a consistency of structures across the university. That is, it enables us to run with an agreed standard for structures utilised across the university, thereby ensuring that we all use the same chart of accounts, such as the tree structures holding the responsibility centres, project codes and analysis codes. Another example of agreed consistency is built around the HR C-levels. So upon these foundation services, we can build layers like Applications Plus, which includes planning and the balanced scorecard. Also BI Plus, which is our S-Base. S-Base is a complex multi-dimensional data cube that summarises data at a transactional level for rapid decision making. We have just begun a new layer called Scorecarding. This looks at more than just financial measures and acts just like a report card that looks at more than just the finance side of things. It considers the cause and effect. It is a useful tool to consider what causes a desired outcome. For example, the university might need to have more overseas students to enrol. Well, how do we go about reaching that goal? This tool helps us to make that decision and to reach that desired outcome. Of course, we have our financial and interactive reporting layer. This is where we've built the Hyperion Finance Reports application. The interactive reporting layer is referring to where we have built our finance queries. Dashboarding enables us to measure things like key performance indicators, our KPIs. And analysis is where we have our web analysis tool, empowering users to build one-off ad hoc reports. And all of this complex, multi-dimensional data from across both financial and non-financial sources is utilized through a number of powerful applications which are built upon a sound, consistent foundation of agreed standards and security. It is funneled through to the end user from a single source of data into a single workspace as they access System 9 from the web and potentially with Microsoft Office applications. This is System 9. Alright, so this is how System 9 has been built, but who has built it into the University of Sydney infrastructure?
Yeah, good question, Martin. I guess System 9 wasn't an upgrade as such. It ended up being a full re-implementation, which required us to then look at going through and designing from the bottom up. I guess what people see from Hyperion is that it's a bit like an iceberg, where you've got the top 10 or 20% is what the users see, but underneath the covers, behind the scenes, it's a fairly complex system that we've put together. So putting this re-implementation together, building it from the ground up, we actually got involved, the ICT architecture people, to assist us in building what we needed to build, as I said, from the ground up. So it's like building a car. So we had to put the blueprint together to make sure that we had the right components, and also liaise with Hyperion Oracle to make sure that what we were building was compliant with what they were suggesting, and we just wanted to make sure that obviously it was going to work. So we had a lot of teams involved from ICT, right from, as I talked about, we had to buy new servers, implement new servers, so people like Jonathan Wang that helped us downstairs, and Greg Rudd at the architecture layer and at the infrastructure layer of building those machines. People like Alan Wu at the middleware layer, Dean Logan at the database layer. We had a lot of people involved, so I guess that's what you don't see behind the scenes, is that there's a team of maybe 6 to 10 people that assisted in putting this system together. So once we got the blueprint, and that was basically signed off by ICT management, then we went ahead and built it, and that period took sort of 6 to 9 months to actually put this system together. We had to be careful that we didn't impose on the current production system, so we need to have lights on as usual, business as usual for the users, while we went across this building exercise and getting System 9 up to a state where we could then hand it over and work with financial services, get to a point where we could do user acceptance testing, make sure the performance was there. We wanted to make sure it was reliable and obviously available for the users. So it was a fairly complex exercise to get the System 9 up and running. So when we talk about the architecture, I said it's fairly complex. It's actually made up of over 20 different servers that build the system. And I think just to quickly move through those different layers and what the servers are actually performing, we have the web layer, and that's where the people actually access the system, so they come through the web layer. And we have some load sharing and some balancing as far as that server is concerned, just to make sure that if one server goes down, we don't lose availability to the system. So we've got some redundancy built in at most of the layers, and that's why we've built this system to then be more sustainable as far as availability is concerned. At the next layer we have the application layer. Again, we have a number of servers in there, basically for load sharing and for redundancy. We move down to what we call a shared services area, and that's where the core services of Hyperion reside. Again, it's reasonably complex to get all these correct. If we don't, and I think through some of our testing, we had to do some sort of manipulation of some of those servers and services to make sure that we got the right performance. And then down the back end we have all the database servers, and that's where we have our cubes, our data warehouse, and some other repositories looking at sort of access and also some of our security. So there's, as I said, it's fairly complex, and you can see by the diagram, this is what the guys have to make sure is available to make sure that the users have a system that's quite reliable. Two of the key people in my team that look after Hyperion are Stain Hurlbecki. and Alan Wu. So I guess if we have a look at their two jobs, is quite different as far as what their responsibilities are. Stain looks after the data, so all the back end looks after the cubes and the data warehouse, looks at all the interfaces and the integration of the data from the systems, be it the finance systems, and as we move forward, HR systems, research systems, and he's working on those at the moment. So what we've built is a system 9 that will go further than just finance. So we're making this system ready to expand.
So tell me what the most challenging part of implementing System 9 was for you.
For me, I guess it was mainly on the background, so the way the new cubes like Reports, Gel and so were built. System 9, we now use a different way of building it, so instead of stovepipes, everything connected to just one server, we can now do it in a central way and actually go and deploy the cube to different servers. So also in the future, if new servers come in, we can easily migrate the cube from one place to the other. Another very challenging thing was the way the annual cube is now built, and as you might have noticed, annual cube is now up to date every single day instead of weekly, and that is because the different technology on the background, instead of OLAP it's now called MOLAP, and the main difference there is that the data is no longer stored in a separate format, but actually there's a huge massive bitmap index that goes on top of the existing data, which makes that the long pre-processing of and aggregating of all the data is no longer necessary. It's now done on the fly, which also means that larger cubes like the annual cube can be rebuilt in a much shorter time than beforehand.
Alan, on the other hand, is looking after the middleware layer. Now, the middleware is what we call is the glue. Is the glue between what people see at the web layer and what Stain's doing at the data layer. So he sits in that middle area, and that's where he massages the information to be available and accessible as far as the user is concerned. So, really important job. It's almost like a bit of a dog's body, but he's very good at that. And that's where all the problems, if they do occur, are at that layer. So it's a very key position of which Alan does an excellent job.
Well, there's a lot of benefits to the end user. The main one and the most obvious one when you log in is that it looks a lot more organised and it's easier to navigate around. With the reports and queries all being in the one workspace, everything feels more organised. And with the folders on the left and the reports on the right-hand pane, you can see all your reports in one screen instead of scrolling down the page. And favourites allow you to quickly get to your frequently used reports, and these are pointers, not snapshots like in the previous version. It's also a lot easier to use. The search function is very fast compared to the old version, and you also see the various tree options that meet your criteria, so you can select which tree you want. Expansions of rows keeps you where you clicked from, so it doesn't move back to the top of the screen. Running books is very easy now. You don't need to remember to swap to PDF, because the complete book in PDF comes up on the left-hand pane under tasks, so you can just click that. And exporting to Excel is much better because it retains your formatting. And queries are easier to navigate within by using the View Sections panel on the left-hand side, so it's easier to swap between your views. And the pivots are a lot easier because the handles are now at the top of the screen rather than way down the bottom, so it's visually easier to grab what you need to and move around. Also with the security, we've actually moved the support of that over to the finance systems and support team. And so that's a little bit easier for us to administer because we understand the PeopleSoft trees, and so we should be able to interpret what your issues are. Now there were some minor issues that came along when we went live. Now that all the components are together in one workspace, there's only one version of security, and this has caused some translation issues from pre-System 9 because when it was all separate, sometimes something inconsistent didn't matter, but now it's all together, it may cause a conflict. We did have an issue with Firefox browser on the SUGL Q105, and there was minor display issues such as report headers or sort orders. And at one stage the large books didn't run due to a server setting, and mostly the users raised these to us, and thanks for raising them because it allows us to quickly address them and get fixed, and they're all addressed within a day or two.
I'm really excited about Hyperion.
As I'm concerned, I mainly use intelligence only. So when I log on to the system with 9 in the screen, it looks different, but as a user's point of view, there is no major changes. I still find the report in pretty much the same way. But I know there will be more changes to come, and I'm waiting for that.
What I like about System 9 is I believe that it's faster than the System 8. It's very fast. I like the way the navigation and the appearance.
The search function in System 9 is very easy to use and it's rather quick. You come up with results very fast, and that is the feature that I like in System 9. And together with that, when you export the report in Excel, all the formatting is retained, so that's an additional plus feature in System 9.
One of the best features I like about Hyperion is the fact that you can have several applications available in one workspace. For example, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, as well as Hyperion applications can be set up in one workspace area.
And I'm looking forward to see what they can do.
And I also like the new feature for saving your favourites for quick reference.
What do I like about System 9? I don't use System 9, but I love the trainer.
Well, System 9 is really the foundation for the future. Oracle have released this system back 2 years ago or so, and they did that under the auspices of being able to add on different modules, create greater user interfaces, and really sort of streamline the whole thing. And it was beholden on the university, given the size and scale of what we do, to take advantage of that new enabling technology.
Well, in the future what we're going to do is we're going to add some new pivots to some of the salary reports, and what we're doing is investigating the use of a new tool in System 9 called the tree hierarchy, and this will enable us to have trees in queries instead of the flat boxes that you have now. And we'll also be looking into new System 9 features such as Excel forms of the planning module, and also HR reports are coming, which you'll hear more about later on.
Well, it's been an exciting journey, hasn't it, as we've considered the history of Hyperion coming into the University of Sydney, when it was first implemented, and all the work that went on behind the scenes prior to that actually being implemented for the first time. The continued time of where we've taken on board people's ideas and different thoughts, and we've improved its performance, and now the work that's behind System 9 finally being implemented into the university, and where this is going to take us. Of course, there's going to be a little bit more work required for us behind the scenes as we take you into the future, and I can't help but think about what the future might hold. Hi, I'm Martin Dennison, and welcome to HUGtv.
Hi, I'm Mark Preston. Hope you're enjoying HUGtv.